Let's get salty!
Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and it's been a couple of days since the latest balance patch. I saw Astalor, Rogue, Demon Hunter, and Shockspitter all get nerfed, and I have put together 5 decks that you can take and reasonably expect to climb, whether it be in standard or wild, whether it's gold, platinum, diamond, or even legend for the very first time. I will say though, this balance patch was huge, and the meta has not settled at all. There's no like clear front runner. Things could change, so I will say more now than ever, craft at your own risk, and I might even have to do like a follow-up video in like a week of the best decks, because it's changing a ton. But these are the decks that I am seeing perform, at least at like legend ranks, using HS Replay, Donkey, and Twitter, and all of that. So hopefully this will help you guys out. And if you want to support the channel and feel like I have earned your subscription, please hit the sub button down below, give the video a like. It helps the channel out a ton, especially as we're on the road to 69,420 subs. Also, new Mega Man shirt, it's freaking rad. So starting off with standard, we have 5 decks. I'm not gonna really suggest any nerf decks, and by the way, one of these decks actually has Scourge Rager in it. It's freaking wild. Starting off, we're gonna go look at Jombray's Evolve Shaman. This deck's performed pretty well. I played it a little bit just the other day and had some success. It's nothing really that new, but it's really effective at, well, scamming people. Basically, you could get Gold Shardnal out pretty early with Schoolings, and I've had 10 drops on turn 2, and you just win the game, and that feels pretty good. But other than that, you still have the new card in here, Prescience, which draws your minions, gets your Knolls out for cheap as well. You have Tiny Toys in here, which you can evolve the entire thing with Convincing Disguise as well as it's infused. And there's a bit of a tech in here where you have Shatter Hunter Vol'jin. You have like a totem on the board, or you have like a Piranha, and then you can cheat out like Neptulon or something big like Glug for a big high roll that way. And it's an effective scam deck, not super flexible. You fall behind, it can be pretty hard to catch up. You have like Command Neptulon. You got the hero card here, but I think the deck's pretty straightforward to play, and a lot of people really have fun with this style of deck. Next, we have Pure Paladin, which is doing incredibly well, even at higher ranks, and you don't even have Carriol in here. It's similar to that build we highlighted, I think, a couple of months ago. We have one Blood Crusader, where you can, after you play out your order in the court, you can like cheat out Countess and get that going, so you get your legendary invitations and all of that. But you've got your really good early game buffs like Seal of Blood, Forecaugh the Loss, Blood Matriarch Liadrin's in there, and again, that diamond, unbelievable. But yeah, it's a good mid-range style deck with some generation, some pop-off, and again, performing remarkably well. It's amazing how much better these decks can do when 0-mana Wild Paw Knolls aren't killing every early game minion in the game. The meta has opened up so much. It's been really good to see. It's very aggressive early on, but at least it's a lot of variety. Even playing ladder today, I barely faced the same class twice in a row. Aggro Mage is another deck that I gotta recommend, because I haven't recommended this one in a video yet, but it's effective. I have lost to this thing a lot. The damage output this deck can have in the late game is incredible, but they also have really good early game minions. Arcane Worm, Iron Deep Trog, Sorceress, Suspicious Alchemist. You still have Astalor in there, because why not? Crooked Cook. Frostweave Dungeoneer is guaranteed to draw Frostspell in this deck, so you're always getting those 1/1s with freeze, and then your board becomes kind of useless. You just blow it up with Deathborn, get a bunch of skeletons. That's reach. You have Egwin for insane spell damage. You have Arc Splitter, which gives you arcane bolts, and again, you can just keep throwing more burn in the face with your frozen torches and all of that. You even have Prismatic Elemental in here just for random spells that discount, and it's pretty effective. Very solid deck. Again, not even requiring the hero card. Definitely can recommend it, as it was performing even pretty well before the balance patch. Curse Imp Warlock, a more mid-range deck. You've seen it before. You'll know most of these decks aren't new. The last one, I promise, is a bit new, but the buffed archetypes like let's say Casino Mage, Warrior, they're not panning out like at all yet, really, and I can't recommend them. But Curse Imp Warlock, it's a really reliable deck where you have your good early game with your imp package. You have ridiculous card draw in here with the Pending Catastrophe, the curses. You can just kill your opponent without literally connecting a single piece of damage with a minion. I've died to that. I've been very upset about it. And of course, you have like your hero card in here with Tamsin, Imp King Reform, Abyssal Wave. Most of this stuff doesn't rotate. FYI, only like the hero card really does. And I would expect Imp Warlock to probably be pretty good, honestly, after rotation, but probably losing Bran as well. But overall, yeah, really, really solid deck. And the last deck, this is the one that seems to be doing well. There's a good, decent amount of sample size. It's a newer deck. It is Ranger Priest, or Shadow, like the whole undead Shadow Priest. The buffs have made it good enough that you can kind of spam the board with your undeads. You push a lot of damage with their death rattles, like a brittle skin zombie, like a shadowed spirit. You can bring them back with a bone collar, and of course you can bring it back with a newly buffed high cultist basilisk, which was before was 5 mana. You do all of that, you push a lot of damage, you have your upgraded hero power with Benedictus, and then you even have Zarella in here just for the death rattles. You just proc a bunch of damage, possibly value, and then of course you have your hero power, which can deal 5 damage in a turn. And yes, you've got Scourge Rager because you can bring it back, and it's a 5/4 with Reborn. That's pretty darn good. And yeah, this deck seems to be doing all right. So I am recommending a Priest deck that wasn't meta before the patch, and I think it's reasonable to, you know, have some success with it, especially if they have the cards. I definitely recommend it. Wild didn't really shake up a heck of a lot from the latest patch, but I will go over most of the decks that are mainly the same. Secret Mage is Secret Mage. It's disgusting. It's gross. I'm sick of it, but I gotta recommend it because it's really good. Cheating out secrets for 0 mana constantly, not letting your opponent play a minion. You get to draw a bunch of cards, you push damage, you draw cards, you cheat out 0 mana 5/5s, 0 mana 6/6s. Really solid deck, pretty easy to play. You will climb with it. I guarantee it if you stick with it. Very solid deck. Probably even better than that though, and I didn't mean to use the pun of even, but even Shaman, which is, oh god, I'm doing it again. It's even better, where this deck is so good, so easy to play, that this deck is appearing at highest legend by bots. People bought this deck, and it gets to legend consistently and ranks up in legend. That's how ridiculous it is, because you just equip a chisel, you get a bunch of totems, you cheat out your thing from below, your Gigan totems, you play Stormlight, and you kill your opponent because you have 0 mana buffs. It cheats a bunch of mana, it snowballs, it's got lethality, it's got a ton of good stuff, and arguably the best deck in the format. And yeah, I absolutely can recommend this 100%. If a bot can get to relatively high legend with it, I think a human being, even a newbie at that, probably could take this and start to climb with it, and then we'll get better as you go along. Next is my favorite deck in WoW these days, even Unholy Death Knight. It just got buffed with Battlefield Necromancer now giving 1/3 taunts. It is ridiculous. If you get this out early against any other board-based deck, you win. They can't get through that. And then they just keep getting more and more. This buff alone is nasty. I've tried Unholy Frenzy, which got buffed, but it seems to be a little not amazing in it, but it's okay. But overall, you just play a lot of 2-drops. Even got like Knife Juggler, Haunted Creeper in here. Spam a bunch of 2-drops, get the board to stick around, Grave Strength, kill your opponent. You even have mana cheat in here like Murloccula. You can also infuse your Priest of the Deceased. You have Sylvanas in here, and Marrowgar can outright win the game, the late game. Really fun, classic style of Hearthstone deck, and it absolutely stomps on Pirate Rogue, can beat Secret Mage. It's really good against the other board-based decks. By the way, not recommending Pirate Rogue. It's still a good deck. If you have it, you can still play it. You can look at some of my older videos that always recommends it, but I wanted to throw out a couple more recommendations out there that are a little bit more out there, like Beast Hunter. I know Corbet's been playing this a lot. It's still a really good deck. Nothing really too new about it. Starving Buzzard in there, somewhat recently reverted, and yeah, you just draw your beast. It's really fun. You play a lot of beasts in there. You can disrupt like decks with Bad Luck Albatross or negate a Highlander deck if they're annoying you. You got Hydrolodon you can cheat out, of course, with Harpoon Gun, your hero card, or you can like discount Shadedown Tundra Rhino and do a big charge combo. And the last deck that might be making a big comeback, despite the fact Tome Tampering was banned, Corbett tweeted about this as well. Discard Warlock might be a top tier deck again. I looked at the donkey numbers in Wild. It's like over 55% in Legend. banned. And yeah, it's just doing pretty well. There's builds that even run spell damage with like the Arcanist, which I think is a bug, but regardless, even without that, there's Ashen Elemental to get through ice blocks and card draw decks. But Expired Merchant into Soul Barrage is just so much damage that if you can do that, Cataclysm and all of that could just murder your opponent. I can't stand the deck. I don't think it's much fun, but I have been steamrolled by it very recently. And I think if you have those old discard cards and maybe you're a little bit sad that Tome Tampering got banned and you want to pick this up and give it a go, you might still have some success as the deck is still performing pretty well, at least at Legend rank. So there you go, 10 decks, 5 from Standard, 5 from Wild that you can take and expect to climb with. Again, I might do a follow-up video in like a week or so, although the mini set will be coming. I might revise this because the meta is evolving. It is not settled whatsoever. And that's a good thing. There's a lot of variety on ladder, and I really hope it lasts. So try out one of these decks. Hopefully you have some success, have some fun playing Hearthstone. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day, and stay salty, my friends.